Welcome once again, you beautiful people, to the Thursday Night Delight. It is indeed the Thin Long podcast on the air. My name is the incomparable Shane Harris. Below me is my old buddy, the teacher extraordinaire, currently on his holidays, which he will get to in a bit, Mr. Philip Perrins. And to my left, the OG of the podcast, Mr. Oliver Butler Henderson, and conspicuous by his absence is our beautiful, beautiful baby Hope. But unlike JJ McCarthy, he'll be back next week. Right, so where do you want to start the show then, gents?
Oh,
I got plenty of those lined up.
Gosh, man.
I got plenty of those lined up. Sorry. I got one more. Have anybody seen the new Atlanta Falcons deal that they took a player from the Patriots? Yeah, they took Matthew Judon.
That's better.
And he's out of there.
Keep going.
More on that in a bit. So come on, now, Phil. Do you want to start everybody with your getaway and let everybody know what's going on with you?
Well, because I wasn't going to go away like abroad like I did last year when I called in from Sorrento. We're used to away, yeah, and I've done it from Barcelona and Amsterdam.
That's right.
And this year we've just gone up to like Yorkshire, a place called Bainbridge, and literally in the Yorkshire Dales, and it's absolutely amazing up here. So all week it's just been like lots of casual walks when it's not been lashing down with rain. We've been to the Cheers factory, we've been to some like movie set locations, we've been to like the waterfall where they shot Robin Hood Prince of Thieves with like Kevin Costner.
Everything I do,
really, really chill. And tomorrow, like, we're just going to come back, which I was just saying off air, like, my ADHD is going to be amazing when I'm in the car for 3.5, near 4 hours, and I'm literally, like, twitching after the first 15 minutes about being bored. Especially, like, driving is long and boring. Oh, my God. Shout out to any one of our listeners that is a professional driver for a living. Oh, my God. Oh.
So how is our beautiful Gem enjoying it?
She is all right. She's feeling a bit peaky at the moment. She's been a bit ill today, but that's fine. She's just like chilling. You have been a bit ill, love. Literally, you've been.
Best wishes, Gem.
She's giving me the eye, even though I'm just contesting that she's been ill, which she has been.
Is it your cooking? So if I asked her, is it your cooking? Will she say yes?
Do you want me to tell them live on air?
Come on, Gem. Come on.
Do you want me to tell you why you're ill on air to the hundreds of people that are listening?
I can edit it, Gem. Don't worry.
Oh, it's fine. All right then. So Gemma's not feeling great because her aunt Irma is visiting, and
all right, now do. Jesus Christ! All right.
She's literally sitting there saying, "Tell him the reason. Tell him the reason."
I'm gonna bang your heads together. Nobody wants to hear that. Anyway, sorry, just completely changing the subject.
That, according to Gemma, it's a natural thing that we should talk more open about on a male-dominated podcast.
Oh my God! Sorry to the female demographic who watch this show, all 5 of you. So, OBH, what's been going on in your world? How's things, bud?
Things are good, mate. Things are good. Yeah, can't complain. Just got up in training, so I'm absolutely soaked. I think I finally dried off. Woke up to some devastating news this morning, along with the rest of the UK participants. But we'll allude to it a bit. But yeah, I'm all good. How are you, Mr. Harris?
Come back from Bloodstock. Bloodstock was amazing. Beast in Black were fantastic, and Nightflight Orchestra were absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so that's my last festival of the year. I've only got one more gig booked for the rest of the year, and that's our boys in Defects. Shout out to them for doing a gig on my doorstep in Bristol. We should have some fun there. Yeah, other than that,
was the one that I saw with you?
Yes, it was.
Oh my God, yeah, they were so fun.
They're awesome, but they're awesome.
Yeah,
so yeah,
I had a great time. Vibing
to that's been pop band, hooray. Yeah, so we can obviously encourage our listeners who like their metal and rock to get into both those bands, and of course our friends in Defects. So Mr. OBH, do you want to start us off this week with the news in 60?
Yeah, should we talk about some football?
Yes, please.
This is the news in 60.
Yeah, I don't really want to do this. So I was planning this earlier on in the week, going, oh my God, it's going to be a quiet week for news. What the hell am I going to talk about in the news in 60? And then the NFL did its usual NFL thing and exploded everywhere. So,
what? Nothing. I
Right.
what is it with all the sexual innuendos in the first 8 minutes?
I mean, there was any there, but okay. Right. I'm wearing his t-shirt, Matt Judon. Instead of extending him even for a year, that would have been nice, or giving him a bit of extra money, that would have been nice as well. They traded him for a third-round pick to the Atlanta Falcons last night. The deal's being sorted. There is contract issues with them at Atlanta, which is quite interesting. It's an absolute steal, third round. I'll talk about it more in a bit. Brandon Ayuk wants to leave the 49ers and wants to stay the 49ers.
Yeah.
And the Steelers have got a deal in place, but that's yet to happen. Mr. Perrins will talk about that a little bit more in a bit. We've got, while only being in Aaron Rodgers' presence for a few months, it's been enough for Harrison Riddick to request a trade from the Jets, which is absolutely hilarious. This is another one who wants to get paid.
That's Hassan Reddick, by the way. I digress.
Yeah. So, the Vikings, their offseason has gone from bad to worse. Obviously, we had the sad news of their fifth-round rookie sadly passing away in the offseason. They've had their WR2 go get arrested for DUI. They had JJ go down with a knee injury in practice, and then they decided to operate him, which is fair enough. Operate on his meniscus tendon, get it right, or ligament, sorry, and it's now sidelined him for the rest of the year. We'll discuss this in a bit shortly, but how is this going to affect him going forward? You know, he wasn't going to be the starter anyway, but we'll go for that. While on the theme of injuries, all-pro linebacker from the Bills, Matt Milano, is out again for the season after breaking his leg in Week 5 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Jacksonville. He has now torn his bicep, ruling him out for the year. We finally got some good news. The Browns have extended linebacker, I hate these kind of names, Jeremiah Owasa Kawoma, I hope I pronounced that right, to a 3-year deal worth £25 million. And Tavon Austin, I didn't realise this until they saw it on Good Morning Football the other day, has called his time as an NFL career after 9 seasons in the NFL. And thankfully, he is okay, but Mark Andrews was involved in a car crash on Wednesday.
That's fine. My boy is fine, thank God.
Well, I mean, he's number 3 tight end in the league anyway.
That's not the point. He's still a human being.
Mr. P, what is going on with Brandon?
It's been the most drawn out waste of cat and mouse game ever, and this is actually, I was talking to Baby about it during the week separately, and we were just saying that this actually does not bode well for the 49ers next off season, where we have a few players that are going to be free agents or looking to extend deals anyway, because last year we had the whole thing drawn out with Bosa. The year before that we had the whole thing drawn out with Debo, and that's just the minimum of like the contract negotiations. So Brandon was about to stay initially, and then everything got reset when, oh God, who was it, when Tyreek got paid, or someone else got paid, and that basically made Ayuk just go like, no, I want to actually get paid more now. So it's been a mixture of the 49ers wanting to stay but won't budge on what they were willing to offer him. He wanted to stay, but obviously he wanted to get paid his worth. Now, when I said on Across the Pod last week, and I think I've said it on the show here before as well, numerous times, what Brandon Ayuk offers to the 49ers is that he can stretch downfield play. A lot of our play revolves around the West Coast offense, which tends to be 5, 10, 15-yard pass plays. That's why Kittle, that's why Debo, that's why Christian are amazing. But on those plays where you need to stretch the field, where you need to take the DBs and the safeties and the weak, the weak lines, linebackers, to drop them back, Brandon Ayuk is the best player on the team to do it. So that's what he brings to the 49ers. So if anybody was listening last week thinking I was just burying him, it's not the case. He wants to stay, but he wants to get paid his worth. When you see other mid-level wide receivers around the league getting paid an absolute steal, and he was one of the ones that put up huge numbers last year. He was in the 1,000-yard club with the 49ers as well. So he was one of 4 that literally hit 1,000 yards last year. So he wants to get paid his worth. So it's been like a mixture of the 49ers trying to call his bluff, as well as him and his camp calling the 49ers bluff. Now, as of last night, it had been reported to a couple of West Coast journos that the 49ers had agreed to up his wage demands to what he wanted, which was 28 million. So they were only initially just not going to go past 26. They've upped it now to 28. The stumbling block now is length of contract and how much of that is going to be guaranteed. So it's gone from the 49ers wanting 4 years plus the extra that they were going to make him play out on his deal. So 5 years overall for 28 million. He wants 5 years plus the year that he has left on his contract anyway, 6 years for 28 million with more guarantees. So that's where that current stumbling block is. Now, his name had been scurried across the NFL to the other 31 teams for a potential trade. Now, I said this a while ago, the reason why I think we drafted Ricky Purcell was to almost be the decider of whether or not we keep Ayuk or not, because again, we gave a first round pick for him. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we drafted him in the first round when we had probably more important needs, i.e. on the line, or even having we've pretty done all right with like our linebacker, because in our game against the Titans we had a really good I can't remember his name, but he had a stellar game at weak side linebacker. And so it's kind of now between, if he's going to stay, he's going to be under our contract, but if we trade him, it looks like it could go to the Steelers. Now, I don't know if you guys were looking earlier on, but the Steelers are not impressed with Justin Fields. Have you seen some of this?
See,
I have nothing to do with the Steelers at all. I tend to bury my head in the sand when it comes to those horrible people.
So whether or not this is just like like a bit, but they're not that impressed with Justin Fields, and there's been a couple of instances in practice where he hasn't been playing under center. He's been brought out for like potential trick plays, whether or not as a running back, wide receiver, or a tight end. Now he's massively too small to be a tight end anyway. But I don't think going to Steelers to be a absolute, because when was the last time the Steelers were relevant?
I know, I love it. It's class, isn't it?
I mean,
for a long time.
When they got to the Super Bowl in 2010 and lost to Aaron Rodgers, that was the last time Rodgers was really relevant. So does he want to go
for good reasons anyway?
Yeah. Does he want to? And basically, it all comes down to him ultimately. The 49ers, want to keep him, but they want to keep him under their terms. He wants to stay in San Francisco. That's the key thing. He wants to stay there, but he wants to stay under his own terms. So does he want to stay with the 49ers and contend for championships, go to NFC championships, go back to the Super Bowl, or does he want to go to the Steelers, get paid, but have past his prime Russell Wilson, or can't catch a cold Justin Fields passing to him, and he can continue to be the 4th worst team in their division? Because again, he's going to a division that the Steelers would be the worst in next year.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. They 100%. They've got what? They'll have Texans. They're going to be good. Browns. They're going to be good. The Ravens. They're always good.
Whoa. I'm not an expert on the Niners division either, but you got that one wrong. Let me try and explain to you. AFC North is ourselves, the Browns, and the Bengals.
Sorry.
It's all right, boy. I forgive you.
Sorry. It's just a division that only tends to have a couple of Super Bowl contenders in every year. Sorry, apologies. So again, the Bungles, they'll be all right. The Browns are really good. The Baltimore Ravens are really good. So the island of relevancy for the Steelers would be very remote.
See, it says something though, because obviously the Patriots offered him 32, and you said he was 28, and now the Niners have offered him the 28. It's now this is, we want 4 and a 5th, you want 5 and a 6, which is fair enough. It's a sticking point, right? This is kind of things what the Judon was going on about. But the money's now on the table. They've now offered him the money we want. It's now that year. Do you think he will now start showing up to practice?
He turned up to practice today. So what I was looking, it was reported by all journos, as well as Grant Cohn, that Ayuk turned up to practice today in 49er gear. So like a couple of times he's been turning up just in his own tracky bottoms, like not wearing team clothing. He turned up to practice today in clothing, 49ers rep. So I think ultimately he wants the best of both worlds, which is exactly what we'd all want. Like he wants to get paid his worth, but he also wants to get paid to compete in championships. He could get paid to go to New England, but New England aren't competing for championships. So basically, Pickens I'm going to pay him as well.
Yeah.
Why go
So
to
Nick London's come in and said Steelers have said Pickens as WR1. Yeah, I've seen that. Some Pittsburgh Gazette post things. And he's right. Why would you go to Steelers and be a WR2 if they're going to pay Pickens?
And I think he also wants to be the guy wherever he plays because, again, he's fortunate but unfortunate. And I'm not jumping on the 49er bandwagon because after this conversation finishes, I don't anticipate us talking about the 49ers for the rest of the pod. But is he the guy in San Francisco? Is he the guy? Like, when we think of like the 49ers players on offense, like
he's 1 of 4.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's on offense. Let's say that it is. He's 1 of 5. Like you've got Brock, who is going to have another great season. I know it. Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk. And those he's 1 of 5. Well, if he goes to somewhere like New England, well, he will be their offense, wouldn't he? Let's be honest. He would be their offense. If he goes to somewhere, let's say, if you just go to Steelers, I mean, I think he's actually better than Pickens. I think he is better than Pickens. He would be the guy there. Like he would. If he went to most NFL teams, he probably, with the exception of maybe Chiefs, Cowboys, Bengals, Raiders, he probably would be the guy.
Tell you one thing, he'd be the best wide receiver we got.
Exactly. I mean, who is your other? Because you don't have ODB anymore.
At the minute, it's Zay Flowers and Rashad and Nelson Aguilar and Russell Gage apparently as well.
Zay's really good. I think that would be the only, but he's not going to go to the Ravens because I don't think the Ravens could afford him.
We can't.
So, I think it will resolve itself. It just seems the last 3 years, it's just been very unnecessary with how like the off. And that's forgetting like the whole thing with like Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo and how the front office handled that as well. It just hasn't been smooth sailing for the organization, and that's my biggest regret that this wasn't done a lot sooner because they blatantly both sides want to stay, and if the 49ers concede to what Ayuk essentially wants, well, why has it took until a couple of 4 weeks now, 3 weeks till the season starts? For this to be resolved when the season ended in Feb. And the season ended in Feb for the 49ers, like, because we played in the Super Bowl. So any other organization, it probably would have been resolved early January, beginning of Christmas. Like, but yeah. So that's where I think. Do you think he's going to stay in San Francisco, Jens?
Sounds like he's going that way, isn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised to see him in yellow and black. Because I hate to say it with a passion, with a fiery, burning passion. I don't want to see them get any better.
Sorry, Shayna. Like you said, probably 4 teams. He'd be WR1. Those 4 teams are obviously you lot.
Yeah.
Detroit, Houston, Cincy, Philly. So we've got a bit more. Miami, LA, Dallas. So probably 10 teams. He'd be, apart from 10 teams, he would be WR1.
Yeah.
And KC, they don't have an out-and-out WR1, especially if we don't know what's going to happen with Rishi Rice.
That's a point. I've been quiet for a while, mind.
Yep. Yep. Well, the NFL don't have no idea what to do about that one.
So, as much as I appreciate Phil's educated viewpoint on Niners, the subject of the Niners and Niners players, that is merely garnish, like breadsticks or garlic bread, if you will, to the main event subject of the show. So I will ask my old buddy, my consigliere of the New England Patriots, Oliver Butler Henderson, on his opinion on former Raven Matthew Judon joining the Atlanta Falcons this week. OBH, my old friend, the floor is yours.
So, no, that side, that's a picture of Judon. Obviously, my profile picture a while back, that was me, Matt Judon, wearing Judon's number today. So when I woke up and before I had a cup of tea, I was pissed about this deal. Absolutely pissed. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was like absolutely stupid. You know, he wanted to stay. He wanted to go. You know, we wanted to, you know, he wanted the contract. He wanted to stay. I was pissed. We have a massive amount of cap space for him to pay him.
Yeah.
And then I sat down and thought about it. Right. He's going through the last year. He's, by the time the next season rolls over, he'll be 34 because it's his birthday today. Okay. On the 18th, no, on the 5th of August is his birthday. So by the time the season starts next year, he'll be 34. That's fairly old for a pass rusher. Yes, he is still one of our best defenders, and he is definitely our best pass rusher. Uche, especially now, Barmore's gone down injured. And I kind of like, I saw what Carl Brandt said, and it's like, the time is a bit weird, but we'll go back to that in a minute. The deal, it makes sense. It's a third round pick for a guy who's going to be 34 next season, who wants top 5, top 6 pass rush money. And that's, you know, either he's come off a bad injury. We don't know what he's going to be like this year. He's still going to get you 10 sacks a season easily because it's Matt Judon, for crying out loud. But then you take a big cap space. There's going to be players next season, the same as you, who's going to want paying, you know, on that defensive side of the ball to rebuild and get defense, because defense is our style of football. Ironically, this made me laugh. I saw this earlier. So it's if the Falcons lose in the conference championship games, they will give us the 28th pick in the 3rd round. 28-3. The biggest comeback in football history. 28-3. Yeah, I saw that and I just, yeah, that's brilliant. Now, let's talk about this. From the other side of it. Patriots have the cap space to pay him. We don't know how long he wanted. All you know, he wanted to get paid. He wanted top 5 pass rush money, which is around about 25 million a year, which he is worth. He wanted to stay. Pay that guy. I mean, I've said it on the show for the last 4 or 5 weeks, pay the guy. Give him the guy. He's worth that money to have around the locker room and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Barmore went down, 3 weeks ago with blood clot, so we don't know when he is going to be back. He's one of our best pass rushers now. We've lost 2 of our best pass rushers.
Yeah.
Keon White goes down and Josh Uche goes down. Who's the next man up? I don't really trust the next man up yet.
Jared Mayo putting cleats back on, expect.
Or Dante Hightower.
Exactly.
This is I've been I praised on Andy's show across the pod the other week how well Elliot Wolf's doing of re-signing the players and getting the players, Duggar, Barmore, a couple of guys on the O-line as well. He's getting key components back and how well they're doing bringing players in. This one doesn't make sense because I now don't know what the identity was of what the Patriots was, because under the last half a decade under Belichick, it was always defense won you games. Our defense was outstanding. It was always a top 5 defense. As ever since Judon was there, because we had that elite pass rusher.
Yeah.
I mean, Shano's seen it firsthand as well in Baltimore.
Oh, yes, of course.
But now Barmore's down. We don't know when he's back. We've lost our best pass rusher. What is the Patriots' identity now? Because I don't trust that offense yet. You know, Fred, who was on the across the pod with me, goes hopefully by week 7 they would have figured it out and we would have had a serviceable defense. I don't think we have a serviceable defense anymore. This is the worry.
That's the only thing I'm thinking is who are they going to start at QB? Because obviously in your preseason game, Drake May played a little bit. I'm personally in favour of Jacoby Brissett starting. I think he's a journeyman. He's a well-travelled quarterback. He'd be a bit of a bridge for Drake May to sit for a bit. But then Joe Milton, as I said, he played really well as well. You know, you can't really take that from him. So maybe the identity is in a new look offense or a new look, quarterback room. Other than that, I'm touching straws here.
We'll talk about the rookies in a bit because I quite like what Sean Payne did with Bo Nix. The thing is now, right? Yeah, Matt Nick's come in and said, yeah, third round pick makes sense for the first time. The thing is now is we have no identity. You know, Jacoby Brissett. Do you know what his record is as a starter?
Go on.
1837.
Oh, well, was he played on the Browns when the Browns weren't that good? Did he play in Indianapolis as well? Yeah, that's right.
And Washington.
Exactly. You know, exactly. Like if he played in the likes of the Niners or the Chiefs or ourselves or the Lions or all these top teams, the record would be different, I think.
Do you know what his record when he was in New England when he started when Tom Brady was suspended?
Go on.
2-0. So his career started as a 2-0 career as a starter.
I didn't know. I didn't know he was there when Brady was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Garoppolo started the first 2 games. He went down injured midway through the second. Well, near the end of the second game, Jacoby Brissett started 3 and 4, and backed up by Julian Edelman.
That's insane.
That was the time. So yeah, he can throw the ball. As you said, he is a journeyman. He's been on the league. He's well respected in the league.
He's been about,
but he's not. He's not a Aaron Rodgers. He's not a Josh Allen, or he's not a God say it, Brock Purdy, for crying out loud. You know, it's a worry. It's a worry. But apart from that, wide receivers look good.
Well, there we are. Maybe that's your new identity.
Yeah, we're just gonna need right. JJ McCarthy, he's gone down. He's had knee surgery. He's done for the season. No, I'm not getting Fitzmagic on the phone, bloody Nick. JJ, how's this going to stunt his development? Out for the season.
Go on, parents.
I didn't think he was going to start the season. I thought they were going to give it to Sam Darnold at least until where the Vikings would be on their bye week, unless the Vikings are really, really bad, because again they're in a weird phase as well where they're slowly rebuilding it, but they're rebuilding for an offense surge as opposed to a defense surge, because of obviously you've got Justin Jefferson. So I didn't think he was going to start the season, but I thought he would be QB1 by the end of the season. This is a huge blow for him. I think this is a huge blow for the organization and the coaching scheme. But there's one person that's going to benefit from it, and that's Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is experienced enough. He has played as a starting quarterback before, and you have to think, when you take a step back and you look at Sam Darnold, he hasn't played in organizations that have either thrived or actually wanted him. Because, you know, he was playing for one of the worst teams that we saw pre-Nathaniel Hackett, when he was playing for the Jets. And he was, yeah. So I think he'll grab this opportunity because, you know, I don't want to mention the fact that the 49ers kind of like low-key resurrected him, but the 49ers kind of like kept him in the consciousness of the NFL. No. If you take a step back, Shayna, and actually say it subjectively, you know, Sam Darnold played for a team that played in the Super Bowl last year. Now, whether he didn't get any snaps,
if I played behind Purdy, I'd be in Super Bowl as well. That team can drag people's relevancy.
Yeah, look at Trent Dilfer.
No. Has he got past 9? Yeah, fuck you.
One of these days, Fred Dilfer's going to watch us and he's going to think us and we're going to just slate him.
To
And
be
he's
fair,
like,
to be
right,
fair,
that's it, boys.
Jen, tell him off for me.
Yeah, his stupid high school team popped up on my my socials earlier, and his stupid face with his headset on popped up on my
Stupid face.
his stupid
Sorry.
face.
What you mean by that? Super Bowl winning, stupid face.
Yeah. So what was the point? Yeah, I think he's going to take it. He's going to take advantage of that. He is. So it is a huge loss for him. But I don't think it's a long term. It might do him the benefit because he gets to sit around a little bit longer. He gets to sit around the organization, the facilities, the players, the the backroom staff. He'll not have the pressure that would be on him instantly, because of he's being drafted in the first round as a quarterback to be the heir apparent. I mean, the Vikings haven't had a great success record with drafting quarterbacks. I completely forgot about Christian Ponder until today when I found out that his wife had been released from ESPN.
Oh wow. One more thing about Sam Darnold before we roll on to the preseason week 1. In New York, when he was in New York, when he was at Carolina, he never had this support cast. Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson.
Ooh, I like that. I do like that. When you think all hope is lost for Minnesota, you forget that they've got a talented offensive cast, including somebody that we are going to be seeing in the flesh. We're going to be seeing those players and a lot more come October. I am buzzing for that.
I mean, even Nick Mullins won a game with that cast.
Yeah, picnic.
Right.
Picnic.
Let's roll on to preseason review, and we'll keep it with we'll keep it with Minnesota because JJ, he got picked off. Okay. And then what you want to see from a rookie quarterback is how you bounce back. Oh my God, didn't he bounce back in that game? He was absolutely brilliant that game. And that pass when they had Jordan Addison literally commentating it at the time was spot on. His stats was 11 from 17, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 116.8. Against, yes, there was no Max Crosby, but there was on the defense, you had Jack Jones, expatriate, you had D'Amico Robertson, who's a bloody good, Jordan Grant. You had some good defensive players at the time, and the pass for the touchdown was sweet as to Tristan Addison, I think it was, or Tristan Jackson was on the money. How well do we think JJ did in week 1?
Let me tell you something, dude, Jack, brother. Even a blind nut wins. I can't even say it. Sorry, boys. Even a blind nut gets a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while. And for Minshew Mania to lose, even though he threw for 117 yards and 1 big tutty. Just had to get his name out there because, of course, we did. I think JJ played really well. I really do. He seemed to settle in to the Vikings offense. It's his first game. It's just a shame now that all that positivity, all that, positive play and development then into the scheme is going to be wasted for another year.
Yeah, agreed. Is anyone else fully aboard the Caleb Williams hype train?
It's hard not to.
You watch him, and if
threat.
he was in red, if he was lined up in red with a red helmet, and his number was 15, you wouldn't think anything different. He looked
played so
brilliant.
well, but
the throw to Komet on the roll, off the ground, off platform, through Komet out of trouble was on point. It's one of the best throws I've seen for a long time out of a rookie quarterback. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the Bears put 33 points on the Bills. The Bills team that are forever hitting that glass ceiling. They're always there or thereabouts. 33 points. Caleb Williams looked incredible. I think that retooled Bears offense is going to go far this season.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have two, but they never, doesn't look like they had any of their starting defense out, but they still had on offense Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, Frank Gore Jr., Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. They had their starting offense out there. But yeah, Caleb Williams looked really, really good. Making that trade to Carolina 18 months ago has paid off probably now by the looks of it. What do you think, Mr. P?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I gotta agree. Yeah, that's all I've got on that subject.
I was going to say, yeah, and thanks for joining us, everybody. We're going to see you next week. They say with that trade with Carolina, right? The Bears have made out like bandits, but they had to have plenty of patience with that trade. Nothing like me. I'm like a bad doctor. I have no patience, right? But at the end of the day, they've done really well, and they made out like bandits with that. And yes, I did have to say that segue just to sneak that joke in there.
So Nick's come back quickly to us about the Vikings. He says, how can he sit and now he can sit and learn how to prepare an NF game for the whole year with absolute zero pressure. I think it's a blessing in disguise while Vikings retool and build at depth, which is spot on that one.
It's not wrong.
Right. Jaden Daniels ran in for a touchdown, threw an absolute bomb for 45 yards, something that Lamar can't do. Have we got the second coming of Lamar?
Have a minute now. The first Lamar's still here. Have a minute now, right? Don't go saying second coming of Lamar anything. If anything, he's a second coming of Kyler Murray. Lamar Jackson's still here.
Hang on. He can't be Kyler Murray. He's about 6 foot taller than him.
Yeah,
they were saying that baby's about 6 foot taller than Kyler Murray as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Baby's huge. Like listeners, literally, he is so tall.
He's definitely sorry, definitely a lineman 100%.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, again, the situation, it wasn't the starting defense for New York. No Sauce Gardner out there, no Quincy Williams, etc. But the throw was on point, and it was a really, really good throw. This is what we look at. You haven't got the starting defense on there a lot, but you look at what the throw can do and how all that. Careful, Ollie, don't upset Harrison Hogan.
What's going on, brother?
Yeah. Right. Bo Nix. This is how you prepare your rookie quarterback. You bring in the same offense, the same style of offense that he's excelled in at college. And Bo Nix probably out of week one looked the best rookie quarterback out there. What do you think, guys?
And that says a lot because everybody thought that they were reaching when they took him first for Denver. But yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that maybe the GMs at Mile High do know a little bit about what they're talking about.
Sometimes.
It is known to happen.
So it's 15 for 21 and from 125 yards, pass rating 102.3. He rushed for 11 yards as well, but they were sensible scrambles. Like you could see him going through his reads and like, there's nothing there. I'm scrambling and getting the first down, 6-7 yards every time. And that's how he did it. He did these scrambles and like, oh, I'm going. That's what you need your quarterback to do. If the read's gone, then you go. Not like, oh, look, I could run with the ball. Whee! So like a certain guy wearing number 8 in purple.
Yeah.
Hang on, you've given me enough chip tonight, so you're getting it back.
I mean, Broncos fans are so high on Bo Nix, like they are.
That's a good pen. Play on words. Broncos fans are so high. Very good.
But they are like listening to like Brandon Perner and even just going for like some of their socials, even some of their shows. They really do think extremely highly of Bo Nix, and he looks like he's settled in really well in Denver. So I don't think Denver are in a position this year, kind of like with what happened with Richardson last year in Indianapolis, like where they were starting to build around him, and obviously he went down injured. And I think the same thing will happen with Bo Nix. They'll start building around his strengths. going forward. This is his rookie year is just his settling in year. That's the thing, isn't it? Like when we think about like rookies, especially your main superstar type players, like your quarterbacks, your wide receivers, even like your middle linebackers, your rookie year should be you settling into the speed. There shouldn't be any expectations for you to be just the best in your position of all time as soon as you come out of the gates. That's helpful, that's nice, that's cool, but there should be no expectation. And I think Bo Nix next year could turn into a really good quarterback. Like with Trevor Lawrence, we had to wait a long time for Trevor Lawrence to show.
Some say we're still waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. But like compared to like where he was in his first year, because don't forget, until he got to the NFL, he'd never lost a football game. Like he went undefeated throughout college and high school. Like he'd never tasted defeat until Urban Meyer was like going, "Oop, take the L."
until Urban Meyer.
until Urban Meyer. So like he's now up to speed with how the league works, and he is a very serviceable quarterback. He's not the second coming of like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or whoever or Aaron Rodgers, but he is very serviceable in our league. So I think Bo Nix will do the exact same thing, but time will tell. I've got high hopes.
I mean, he's got not a bad supporting cast already. Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims Jr. I'm quite high on as well. So he's got a couple of good wide receivers there. Josh Reynolds, who came over from Detroit.
Yeah, I forgot he went over, but he's really good. I've always been a fan of Josh Reynolds.
And, Greg Daltrich, really good tight end. And he's got a couple of good running backs behind him as well. So he has got a good supporting cast there. It's the same as Vikings need to build the depth and improve that defense. Right, I'm going to talk about the mess in New England again.
Sorry, we've only got 20 minutes left.
I promise you it's not a New England show. But I guess you don't want your number one and number two quarterback going down injured. I get that. The fact that Jacoby Brissett had 4 snaps and didn't make any completions, and Drake May had 6 and got 10 down one, the first down once. You need to give these guys time, like they did with Bo Nix. He was given the time. He was given a good amount of time. He was given majority of the second half, majority of the second quarter, majority of the third quarter to get settled in the game, come out at halftime and playing all that. You need to give Drake May the time, and hopefully when they play Philadelphia tonight, he'll have some time. He'll have at least a quarter, maybe a little bit more to get some time, not 6 snaps, because that's not enough to give your rookie quarterback a chance to get into the league and understand how the league's played. And now I'm going to severely derail this Joe Milton hype train. We all saw his cannon of an arm in his pro day, in the Pro Bowl, Pro Day, Combine, get it right in a minute, where he hit it 75 yards with a flick of wrist. So we knew that was there. We knew he could scramble around. There's a reason why he was picked in the 6th round. Not the 6th quarterback, like Bo Nix was, but in the 6th round. He isn't an NFL ready quarterback. He has the arm, has the athleticism, but he is not accurate enough at all. And he only has one speed, it's 100 miles an hour. Only thing he can throw the ball at. You watch a couple of his short passes, and literally it would have broken the bloke's arms if it had made contact. So boom, boom, flipping hell.
He's very raw by the sounds of it.
He spent 6 years in college.
Yeah.
He was one of the older players coming into this draft. He spent 6 years at college. If it's not ready then, it's not going to be ready week 1 after training camp. He will be around. He's going to bounce around the league because of his arm and his athleticism, able to scramble around. And you've got Patriots fans going, give him the number 1 spot. No.
I did hear that. Was it like someone had called in and said to cash in on Drake May and just make him number 1?
Yeah.
Like I was like, are you serious? Like, I'm all for deluded takes, but
cash in on Drake May. What?
I mean, right. Patriots, Boston fans in general, they are very passionate about their team, more than New York. when it goes against you, oh my God, don't they let you know?
Yeah.
They really do let you know. Yeah, that was so much. I've some of the comments I read, some of the readers like, seriously, take your head out of the glue stick and watch football. Go back and watch some of his highlights from college day. Yes, he can hit the passes, but oh my God, he can't hit anything within 10 yards. He wouldn't be able to play in the San Francisco offense.
Yeah.
So, Shane.
Are we going to skip over our game in preseason? Because I'll quite happily skip over it if that's okay.
We can talk about it. I was just going to talk
I
about
will. Yeah, I'll be very, very brief. We didn't look good. We looked shit, in all honesty. We lost to the Eagles, 16 points to 13. Preseason's irrelevant. In the words of our baby Hope, preseason's irrelevant. Nobody cares. What I will talk about the Ravens, though, very briefly, is Justin Tucker hit a 68-yard field goal in practice this week, which breaks his own record of 66, which is unbelievable. The bloke's a freak.
Was he under pressure?
Secondly, sorry, completely lost my train of thought. Secondly, Mark Andrews, our star tight end, was in a bit of a bump on his way to training this week. Ravens doctors have cleared him up. Everything's fine. He even participated in training camp the same day. So, just be honest. I'll be honest. Drivers, be careful out there. Keep your eye on the roads. Look after each other. So like I said, it was nothing consequential happened in the Ravens-Eagles game. On to the Matthew Judon edition Falcons. Thank you.
He won't be playing. Did the 49
Who knows? He might play against us.
Did the 49 players get given some mayonnaise fragrance by Will Levis? That look says no.
He doesn't know what it is. He's been on all day. He doesn't know. I watched Good Morning Football this morning. Apparently, Tennessee Titans quarterback Will Levis, who, as everyone knows, puts mayonnaise in his coffee. That is true, ladies and gentlemen. We've known that for a few years now. Has actually been employed by Hellman's to make mayonnaise-flavored fragrance for a man. OBH, would you wear that on a date with our beautiful Kelly?
Fuck and no.
Mr. P, would you wear that on a date with our beautiful Jen?
I'd rather put my genitals in a box of scorpions.
Would I wear... Let's not go into that. No, I wouldn't do that. What a stupid idea. But if it sounds, fair play. What if we can get it at Wembley this year?
Right. It started 24 hours late because I got wound up with something else. But you might have noticed yesterday morning, evening, and today that I dropped our power rankings from 32 to 9. No surprise. Panthers, Washington Giants, Patriots, Broncos are in the bottom 5. It gets a little bit fruity then. It's all on our socials. Going to have a look. Let's roll into our top 8.
So can we do like the old top of the pops countdown? Like in at number 8.
Believe it or not, it is the highest AFC East team. Yeah, let me just check. Yeah, highest AFC East team. It is the Buffalo Bills. Now, you gentlemen put them at 9. No, sorry, Ollie and Shane both put them at 9. Mr. Page, you had them at 3.
Yep.
Any particular?
Yep, I did. So hold on. Whilst we're talking about this, I'm just going to go back. Yes, I had them at 3. I actually had them. I have them on paper actually being a better team than the Chiefs this year because I just think they have. How do I put this? Yes, they've lost Stephon Diggs, but he wasn't really a huge feature for them last year anyway, and I felt. It was almost unlucky that the season ended for Buffalo as it did because Josh Allen got better and better and better. And he's one of those players that I really want him to succeed. I want him to get to an AFC championship. I want him to get to a Super Bowl and ultimately lose to the 49ers. It's his destiny to do so. I really...
because that's what happens with Buffalo, isn't it?
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, between us and the Cowboys and the Commanders, we absolutely destroyed the Buffalo Bills. So I think they're going to be a really, really good team. And I think it's almost become like now or never for them. Very much like it's San Francisco. It's now or never. And I think they're going to be a really, really good team going to the offseason. I can see why they've dropped. I can see why you guys put them down to 9th because they're that unknown factor. Because, a couple of years ago, I said like Josh Allen was going to be my MVP because I thought he was going into the season absolutely on fire with the best supporting cast. He ultimately didn't, and he didn't have a particularly good year as either. But I just think this year, I think it's going to swing around again. I think if he can mature as a passer, and not have an insane amount of interceptions, is it like in the last 4 years he's had 75 plus interceptions?
Yep.
Which is
our Patriots fans love letting him know how many interceptions he had.
so.
One of them was in England.
That's more turnovers than Greg's.
So if you can get that out of his system, I think they're going to be really, really good. But they've got some great supporting players as well. And I just think Buffalo are going to be quite strong this year. I think they might actually take the AFC East this year.
I've got Miami doing that, but well, we've got our prediction show next week.
Yeah.
So we'll go there.
Baby's back too.
And in
I got to say with the Bills. I got to say with the Bills, minute. I got to say with the Bills.
Oh, Nick, sorry, I've just seen his comment. He's just put like, "What have you been putting in your mug of tea, Mr. Parents?" Matt, I haven't drank tea in like, nearly a decade. This is purely hot chocolate this evening because I'm not allowed any more coffee before bedtime.
Yeah, that's a good point. He also takes headache tablets before he goes to sleep as well. He looks after himself.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I know you do. So just really quickly, a sidebar on the Bills. In my everlasting quest to get people into the sport and into the show, I'm trying to get as many people into the NFL as possible. So speaking to a good friend of mine the other day, and she was deciding what team she wanted to support. I was obviously a big advocate for my team. She couldn't decide. So she was looking through the list and she's like, oh, Buffalo Bills. I want them. I'm like, why is that? Because that was the name of the main character in Philip.
Buffalo Bills, Silence of the Lambs.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so she's a big fan of horror, so she's picked that team. And I was like, bit of a letdown, but my take on the Bills this year, they remind me of Cesaro. They're always going to hit the glass ceiling. They'll never quite grab that brass ring,
Okay. In 7. The AFC North. How was it? Play in the jungle. It is the Cincinnati Bengals. Shano, you and Ollie got them at 7. I put them at 10. I'm not sure about this team.
I put them at 2.
You had them at 2.
I'm not sure about this team.
I think the AFC Championship game is going to be Bills versus Bengals. I'm nearly convinced on it.
Okay. Do I want to see a doctor for your delusions of grandeur?
I am clipping that and keeping that.
Keep it.
Okay, and I'm shocked. Right. In 6, not quite winning the NFC North. It is Jordan Love's Green Bay Packers. You've got them at 6.
They're only getting better. They've got a young offense and obviously the most expensive quarterback in the league. I think they're already getting better. What, Philip?
I
can see what you're doing, mate. We're a video podcast. I can see what you're doing.
You're frozen at one point, which is a bit worrying.
The piping off that the media are doing with the Green Bay Packers. Oh, they're already getting better. Oh, Jordan Love is the second coming of Bart Starr. Oh my God, no!
I love
they're a good team. They are good, but they're not great. They're going to be okay. They're going to be crashing out in the divisional rounds for the next 10 years. Like, that's literally what they're going to be doing. It's the Packer way.
That one as well. That as well.
It's also
the Packer way of letting a starting quarterback sit for 2 years and then go from there. We did say a couple of weeks ago as a gamble that Jordan Love was paid that much money so early. But I've got them at 4. I generally think they're going to be a fairly good team this year. Rolling on to number 5. They got to the divisional round last year in CJ Stroud rookie season. It is the Houston Texans. We've all got them roughly around the same 4, 5, 5, 6. Shayna, you've got them at 4. The highest
I said it before. And I'll say it again. They're my dark horse for the Super Bowl this year. If not to win it, but at least to get there. I think the drafting that they've done as well, the team they had in place, and the free agents they brought in, and the trades and everything else, I think they've got strength in every position. Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell. They've got a really good tight end, Will Anderson Jr., Derek Stingley. Who they got running back? Because I've completely forgotten. Joe Mixon?
Yes, it is now.
Joe Mixon as well, you know, and the fact they brought in Daniil Hunter from the Vikings as well. Oh my God!
Can I have some breaking news come in?
Whatever you want,
go on.
but
So Atlanta Falcons have just added All-Pro safety Justin Simmons to their defense.
that's where he's gone. Okay,
Yep. That's gonna be good.
okay.
I mean,
You
if
thought
we'd
we were
done
going to
this
have him,
past
but yeah,
weekends
Jackson
this
instead.
week, it could have been incredibly interesting.
Yeah, I
Shano,
think the Falcons are going to
yeah.
go very much like Tampa, like that the first season with Tom Brady. They're going to try and go all in.
Yeah.
They're
Right,
paying a lot of money. Sorry, go on.
No, carry on.
No, I
Pay a lot of money.
think they're paying a lot of money for very short-term returns. Exactly what happened in LA with the Rams when they went all in to win that Super Bowl, and they went to being asked for a little bit. Same thing with Tampa. They didn't go completely to pits, you know, that quickly after winning the Super Bowl. And I just think teams are almost going like that fuck them picks kind of mentality more and more. And I think Atlanta are going to go very much all in on, well, let's spend heavy because let's see what we can do while we've got Kirk Cousins for the next couple of years. Anyway.
You want Tony Khan's payroll? The amount of times did you said all in then?
All in.
Right.
There you go.
You know, you said Green Bay are going to be mid-divisional round or that. You got them higher than
for the
Texans
next 10 years. Yeah, listen to what I'm saying. They're a good team going into this year. I don't think they'll continue to be a good team. I think when they get found out, they will slide down. I think people should be rightly talking about how good the Texans are going to be, because they are going to be a very, very good team. They just happen to be in the AFC, which is a so much more competitive division as opposed to the NFC, where there's only really 2, maybe 3 teams paying for it.
Yeah, definitely. Shano, your boy's at number 4, my friend.
Sick. Disgusting. Don't agree. No, I do.
I think for me that's sick as in, yeah, that sounds pretty on point.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're actually that high, in all honesty, with the amount of subtractions from this team over since February. All we've really added is Eddie Jackson and Derrick Henry. We haven't even brought a big name wide receiver in. Yeah, I'm surprised we're that high.
But do you think though it's almost like with like the John Harbaugh kind of like effect, where it was the same thing with like Bill for up until like the last 2 years, I guess, in New England, where you put faith in your coach because your coach it's like Mike Tomlin as well. You know, it's almost like well, the Steelers will have a winning record because Mike Tomlin's been there forever and he's never had a losing season. You put your faith in that. And I think John Harbaugh has a very good ability to make very mid Baltimore teams stretch further than the sum of their parts. And
in 2019, yeah,
and I think with like Baltimore, don't do yourself a massive disservice, because you do have that experience of, you know, I think as a quality, I don't think he's as good as you think he is, but I think Lamar is a very, very good quarterback. I don't think, you know, I actually think he's probably the 3rd best tight end in the NFL. Mark Andrews is a very good tight end. You've got Zay Flowers. He's turning into a very good wide receiver. You've always got that stacked defense, that Baltimore defense that you pride yourselves on. It's not as strong as it's been in the past, but it's still stronger than most defenses in the league. And so don't do your team a disservice. I think Baltimore are going to be in the playoffs. I think they can get up to the divisional round. Absolutely. I think they might fall short of the championship game. But like, yeah, don't do them disservice. Let's see where they are by their bye week, and I think you'll be surprised, mate.
Like with people, but the less you expect of them, the more chance they have to let you down. You know?
Yeah, most definitely. Detroit are our number 3 team, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they're number 3 compared to Perrin, who put them at number 10.
10?
Yep.
So that's all that country going to his head, that is.
Go on, then. Give us your reasoning.
I think every team has a peak. Every team has a window. And I think the Lions were exceptionally good last year. And I don't think they'll get to the same summit as what they did last year. I think the NFC Championship game, where they were 5 minutes away from getting to the Super Bowl, their first ever Super Bowl, by the way, I think they were that close. I don't think they'll get as near as they did before. I don't think the Lions going into the season, I mean, Lions fans come at me. I'd ask my wife, but she's the most closeted armchair Lions fan ever. She wouldn't be able to tell me yes or no. She'd just think I'm being a hater. But,
She knows you, boy, doesn't she?
I mean, sorry, go on.
no, but like, I just don't think like they've still got those individual players, but like Hutchinson kind of like massively petered out towards the end of the season. I thought he was going to be as good as Bosa and Crosby. He didn't really fulfill how great he had started at the Lions. I think Jared Goff is as good as he's ever going to be, which is again a very, very high end B tier quarterback. And you got Amar St. Brown, who is again probably top 5 best receivers in the NFL. Do we disagree? Top 5?
I agree with you, but
Yeah, I think you know you got your JJ, your CD Lambs, your St. Brown. Who else is there?
yeah, but Phil, you're
Devontae.
forgetting one important thing.
Say,
They've also got the heart and soul of that team in Dan Campbell. If Dan Campbell
Absolutely.
asked me to, I would fight the bear. It'd be a Care Bear, but it'd still be a bear.
I mean, this is kind of like where I kind of go against what I've just said about like John Harbaugh, like saying like the sum of his parts, where he's really good at getting the best out of very mid-range players, and Dan Campbell is exactly the same as well. He's very good at getting the best out of, and maybe I am a little bit wrong, to be fair. I had the Super Bowl window last year's and bottled it. Lions will build on last year's Super Bowl. Thank you, Kelly, for that. But the 49ers have been in the Super Bowl window for the last 5 years. And I think, again, when we talk about the 5-time Super Bowl winning champions, the San Francisco 49ers, when they come up on this list, I'll explain to you why we're currently still in our Super Bowl window. Kelly,
Please don't.
Edwards.
People want to go to bed.
But like,
I mean,
maybe I was a little bit too harsh. I do
do
rate the Lions higher than I rate the Packers. And maybe in hindsight, I probably would shift those two around, because I think, oh God, who's going to win that division? Detroit or Green Bay? You know what? The Bears. The Bears will win that division.
It's not a bad shout. But I tell you, that's going to be a 3-way scrap this year.
No, it's still 2-way. It's still Lions Green. It's Lions to lose. I think Green Bay are
wild card.
Green Bay will be holding on to the coattails.
Yeah,
I think, and then it's like Bears and oh my God, who the other Vikings? Vikings are now. I think Vikings with JJ there, or Jets, or whatever you want to call him nowadays. They've got that X factor, but it is Lions to lose.
The Vikings will be playing the part of San Marino in this scenario because they kick off every 5 minutes too.
Right. KC are number 2. So the reigning back-to-back Super Bowl champions, which hasn't been done very often, and they are going for the treble, are number 2.
Treble, but...
Now, not one of us put us at the number 2. They were 3, 4, and 4, and Shane put them at number 1.
Much as I hate to say it, but you know, it's a case of you can only beat what's in front of you, and they're the champions for a reason. I mean, as much as we say that last season it may or may not have been a little tiny bit fixed because the NFL is entertainment these days, you can't beat the 2-time reigning and defending Super Bowl champions. And again, and that's just hyperbole from me to hype them up, but the numbers don't lie. Patrick Mahomes can beat anyone. And boys, I doubted that last year. I doubted it, but you proved me right. You proved me wrong. Sorry.
Are they good enough to three-peat though? Because I don't think we've ever had a team in the NFL. Oh shit! This is how it's scripted, isn't it? I don't think we've ever had. I don't think we've ever had a team win three-peated. Like I think the closest that in my memory to a team repeated was possibly 49ers, where they were on the coast being a three-peater, but they lost to the Giants in the NFC Championship game, and the Giants ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. I don't think there has been a team that's three-peated. I'm happy to be wrong, but I don't think the Steelers did. I don't think the Cowboys. Well, I know the Cowboys didn't.
We never did it.
Yeah. So I don't think that's
there's
ever
never
happened.
been a team. There's never been a team that's been to Super Bowl, bar the Bills, more than 3 times.
But they've got their little Lost Rings documentaries, isn't it? Like, you know, oh, we should have won the Super Bowl, but we weren't good enough.
Exactly. I mean, I had them at 3. I had them at 3. I think it's going to be a Lions Niners rematch, but it's going to be in Detroit this time. I think they're going to go in as the number 1.
Okay.
And I
Cool.
think it's going to be KC Ravens AFC.
I hope so. I want to. Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at the minute. I mean, obviously, like I said, we'll do our predictions next week. That's our prediction show next week.
Cool.
I mean, so we've all got them going to be there or thereabouts again, because Mahomes is magic, and you see some of the stuff he does, and they do look really good this year. Despite using Louis Rees-Zammit very, very sparingly
Just
in the preseason. Go on then.
We also don't know what's going to happen to Rashee Rice, by the way. We don't know.
Very, very true.
I mean, know when Travis Kelce's going to come out as pregnant.
I mean, the news. I mean, the news came yesterday, and you guys must have picked up on it as well. The NFL have decided not to suspend Rashee Rice because it's currently out of their hands, i.e., the Players Union forced their hand to the NFL. So Rashee Rice won't be suspended by the NFL purely because now it's becoming a federal case because of what he did. So for those who don't remember, he was in a high-speed crash where
180 kilometers an hour.
180. It was 100% his fault. He caused massive crash, massive injuries, massive wrecks to certain cars, and he's on camera doing it. So there's no like, oh, it wasn't here. He was on camera doing it. He was caught doing it, and he was caught on camera abusing police as well. So something will happen this season to Mahomes' number 2 target. Okay,
Definitely.
so that's again, they have strengthened in certain areas at the moment, but their biggest pieces, I mean, Mahomes is 1 injury away from it collapsing. Travis Kelce is 1 injury away from collapsing. Again, maybe he might have a down year because he is he always strikes me as a guy that can be easily distracted into doing other things, from like his college days where he relied heavily on his brother to kind of like haul him out of trouble. His brother's not in the NFL anymore. His brother's just an announcer, so he's not going to be around the league to kind of like bail him out. I don't know whether or not maybe he's won 3 Super Bowls now. Does he still have that same hunger? Does he want to? I mean, what else has he got to do? 3P? Yeah, that would be kind of cool. But there's a few things that's not quite right, and I don't think the Chiefs will be scripted. But you can record this piece. I think the NFL will script it so they can be the first 3P in
Please
team.
don't.
Shane.
Nothing of note, but I changed my mind because it wasn't relevant. Sorry.
No, please tell us.
Just going to say, you mentioned in Travis Kelce, his current piece is actually on stage at Wembley as we speak, accompanied by that Ed Sheeran bloke. I have one of my friends who was actually there and screaming her head off, and I'm like, carry on. Have a nice time. But yeah, he's probably there right now, to be fair.
So that's not one you should close the curtains on.
Oh yeah, 100%. I move house.
Right. Should we give him his 5 minutes again?
Yeah, just to let everyone know, they can know if they want. They can sit a kettle on. They can go to bed if they want.
Kelly,
Mr. P, please let us know who is number 1 in our power rankings.
Kelly, I hope you're sitting comfortably because now I will begin. Now, you said about our quote Super Bowl window being 2 years. Let me just now, other than reading the room and saying that yes, we haven't won the Super Bowl in the last couple of years, but let me take you back to 2019.
When did you last win the Super Bowl?
1994.
Okay.
Ooh,
When did you last win the Super Bowl?
2013.
Okay, so hang on. We're the worst team out of the group, and we won it in 2019.
They could have won it in 2013 too. The lights went out.
It's amazing. I was going to say, it's amazing how the mighty fall. We should start calling Bill Belichick Caligula because he turned that day. He destroyed an empire as quickly as he defeated it. So 2019, we're our 3rd year into the Kyle Shanahan experiment of building his team. His 3rd year into becoming a head coach. Our record that year was 13-3. We were the number 1 seed. We got to the Super Bowl and we lost thanks to Jimmy Garoppolo literally throwing 2 interceptions in the last 5 minutes. Thank you, Jimmy Garoppolo. The next year, we had a huge injury hit season where we actually finished 6-10. Oh, that's not great for us. But we bounced back the year after and we got to the NFC Championship game again, where we unfortunately lost to our fierce rivals. And then we got to the NFC Championship again in 2022, where we lost 3 quarterbacks that season and still got to the NFC Championship game. And then last year,
I just hate them. I don't know where it is.
How did your number 3 pick go for you?
Yeah, exactly.
He played well. He played well
Exactly.
last weekend, apparently.
Oh, well, that's what Cowboy fans keep telling us, but no one's actually seen it to be sure. And then last year as well, we got to the Super Bowl and we lost to our fierce rivals, the Kansas City Chiefs. And like I said with Dan Campbell, like I said with John Harbaugh, as long as Kyle Shanahan is in charge of San Francisco, I think our Super Bowl window will not slam close, but I think the door will slightly creak towards the door frame with every single year. I do think next year is going to be our biggest opportunity where we have all our main key components still under contract, still competing for championships, whilst next year I don't think we'll have the same kind of wiggle room because we'll have quite a lot of free agents, quite a lot of players that are going to want to get big paid. I just think going into this offseason, once the Trent and Brandon Ayuk kind of like disputes kind of like iron themselves over, which they will, whether or not Brandon is playing for the 49ers or not playing with the 49ers, that will get resolved before the season starts. I do think we are still the strongest team in the NFL. Our biggest problem is almost like that Kyle Shanahan. If you listen, when I said before about like the John Madden thing, where John Madden throughout his entire tenure with the Raiders was accused of not being able to win the big one. And he'd been to the Super Bowl numerous times with the Raiders. He'd been to the AFC game and lost to the Dolphins and the Steelers. He literally was the winningest coach in NFL history at that point. But he never won the big one. And then until he did. And then that shut everybody up. And then the Raiders went on to win 2 extra Super Bowls. In fact, they were the only AFC team to win the Super Bowl in the 1980s. And they did it twice. So it just, once you get over that hump, I think once you learn how to win, that's when it becomes almost like a habit. Don't forget, the Chiefs hadn't won a Super Bowl since the 60s. They win 1,
And now they're
and then they win another 2. So they're 3. They've won 4 now. But before Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they'd won 1, and that was before any of us were even a twinkle in our father's eyes.
Can I just say that Brady and Belichick changed the Patriots? Patriots never won a Super Bowl.
There we go.
They've been to the big game. They've been to the big game twice.
Yeah.
Prior to winning it in 2001, but they'd never won a Super Bowl.
And it's amazing how that one does it. I mean, we can look back through like lots of moments in history where, you know, Phil Simms and Lawrence Taylor, you know, then the Giants win 2 in quite a short space of time. You look in the 90s where John Elway was coming towards the end of his career. He had a history, a career of like, couldn't win the big one. He lost to Joe Montana. You know, he couldn't get it done when it mattered. And then boom, right components, won it in 97. Then he comes back and won it in 98. So that was quite quick. And he beat Brett Favre, who had previously won the Super Bowl. Yeah. So it was kind of like once you get over that one hump, and I just think it will happen with Kyle Shanahan. It will. I thought it was going to be last season. I was wrong. I just think the hurt is just going to spur them on again. And I think what will benefit the 49ers is I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl next year.
Let's hope so.
Nope. Right. He isn't here this week, but we do have him here in a video form of our question of the week. So here it is.
Oh, yeah.
Baby Hope.
Hey, guys. It's Baby Hope with this week's third and long question of the week. So last season, in the preseason, Baltimore Ravens' 21-game preseason win streak was broken. But can you tell me which team broke that streak? Answers will be on Thursday's show.
He's lucky I don't break something of his. Honest to God. He should have run that by me before he tried to upset me.
Sorry.
And,
Ollie, can you just play the first 10 seconds of that, please? Because it sounds like he's out of breath. Like he's
stop him from sitting down. Leave him alone.
Yeah. No.
Hey, guys. It's Baby Hope with this week's third and long question of the week.
Stop
I
laughing,
now know
boy.
what you're thinking.
Kelly, sorry. At least this week's question comes fully dressed. Kelly, I have an impression that you don't particularly like me very much, even though every time I've talked to you, I've been very pleasant and cordial.
Don't start beefs now, yeah? She's a lovely person, you're a lovely boy, just leave it there.
Yes, it sounds like he's been on the gummies. Thank you very much, Nick. Yes.
I mean, hang on, whoa. We don't know he's fully dressed. We can only see literally.
That's true.
Just up. We don't know what's going on below the camera.
We do know he's been working from home, so he literally might just be shirt done, and then everything else is just hanging.
Yeah.
Out.
My producer has said we're droning on. Do you want to wrap this up?
Oh, you got the beauty in you, and I haven't. Right.
Because I know a lot of people do.
Hey, do you want to give us the answer, my friend?
Yes, I can. Washington Commanders. Thank you.
Who was the starting quarterback for that game for the Washington Commanders?
Don't know. That was last season. I've slept and drunk since then.
It was Sam Howell.
Oh, still don't read him. It was a friendly. It's fine.
Yeah, he was the starting quarterback that day. I researched it. He threw for like 200 yards.
Again, preseason. Don't matter. Not important.
Yeah. Right. It is the end of the show. Mr. Harris, you always have something to fill in.
Yeah, I just want to say once again to everybody that's listening and watching, we love doing this once a week, soon to be twice a week when the season starts. Join us then for that as well. We're just really grateful for everyone that watches the show and listens to the show. We're doing a couple of the Wembley games this year and Spurs games, wherever the games are going to be played. Come and grab us. I may even wear the blazer to be more easily recognizable. And or you can wear the third and long flag so everyone will know where we are. Come and chat to us. Have a pint or something. I don't need an excuse to get a drink.
I mean, Shane, they'll just see you because you have 4 cans of Strongbow trying to get into the.
I know. I'm not making that mistake this time. I'm drinking them outside before I go in.
Right. As Dana said, we are 3 weeks away from going back to 2 shows a week. But for now, this show will be live again next week at 8:30 on your viewing devices. And as always, for your ears, we will be out every Friday at about 8:30 in the morning for you to download, listen to your devices. We love it seeing the numbers go up. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much and stay safe all.